Video games. Who doesn't like video games? I know I do. I love collecting all types of video games, and I've been collecting them since I was 6 years old. Now, do I have a huge collection? No, I do not. But I have a pretty big one that I'm very proud of. 5 years ago, I released a video in which I made a domino out of approximately 100 video games that I owned at the time. 5 years later, that number has grown all the way to 240-ish, more or less. So today, I'm going to present to you my video game collection, and after that, I will be doing a domino of my video game collection. So let's start off with the beginning. Now, before we start, if you want to only see the domino, click on this timestamp, and if you want to see a tower that I made with all my video games, just click on this timestamp. Okay? 3, 2, 1, let's begin. First up, we have the Nintendo Entertainment System. First, the one that started all, I own Super Mario Bros., The Legend of Zelda 2, the 1985 Senseiya French game Les Chevaliers du Zodiac, which is honestly one of my most prized possessions. And actually, when I ordered this one, it came with a manual of the Senseiya game in different languages, which is pretty cool. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Mega Man 2, Ghosts and Goblins, Pro Wrestling, the world-class track meet, Back to the Future 2 and 3, which is known to be one of the hardest NES games, Robocop, Double Dragon 3, Konami's Life Force, TNC's Surf Design, Super Spike B-Ball, Monster Party, Wizards and Warriors, Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2, and finally, the Nintendo World Cup. Most of the NES games were given to me by my Uncle Charlie, so thank you, Uncle. Next up is the Sega Genesis. So first off, I have the NBA playoffs for the Sega Genesis, John Madden Football, and now the ones that I actually have with the box are Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Columns, and finally, John Madden Football 92. Now let's move on to Nintendo's response to the Sega Genesis with the Super Nintendo. So for the Super Nintendo, I have Street Fighter 2, which is one of the best Street Fighters in my opinion, Super Mario World, Mortal Kombat, Donkey Kong Country is still with the manual, Super Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and finally Head On Soccer, which has the manual and a promotion for the Nintendo Power. Next up, well, my collection is not big. It has two of my favorite video game titles of all time, which is the N64, for which I only own The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and the gold version of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, the holographic one. Before going to the Gamecube, I want to add this part to all of my Game Boy and its variants collection. So, for the OG Game Boy, I only own Tetris. For the Game Boy Color, I only own Fisher-Price's Rescue Heroes Fire Frenzy. For the GBA, I actually have quite a bunch of games. So for example, I have Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, Power Rangers SPD, Finding Nemo, Over the Hedge Hammy Goes Nuts, Shrek 2, which is a must. My personal favorite, Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Pumpkin King, which is a Metroidvania game based on The Nightmare Before Christmas, which also works as a prequel to such movie, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, so this is actually a hidden gem. And while this is not official, I own the Mother 1 plus 2 ROMs for the GBA. Still not official, but very cool to own. Moving on, I have my Gamecube games, which include The Player's Choice Luigi's Mansion, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, The Legend of Zelda Four Swords Adventures, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time that came with the Wind Waker pre-orders, the Nintendo Gamecube disc previews, which include of 12 different demos. So there are 12 demos inside this disc, which is pretty cool. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, which is one of the best open world superhero video games of all time, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which still has one of the Cursed Child's tickets inside. Let me show you. So inside the manual of the game, Here is a ticket for the course child. I have the Lord of the Rings, the Third Age, which in fact needs 2 discs in order to work. Avatar, The Last Airbender. Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure, which is like a simulation of being in the parks with rides based on Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, E.T., Jaws, and more. Army Man Real-Time Strategy. Winnie the Pooh Rumbly Sumbly Adventures. Carmen Sandiego and the Secret of the Stolen Drums. Hot Wheels World Race. And finally, in this very ugly box, I have Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which I only own the disc, and I pretty much printed the rest by myself with a normal printer because I only had the disc, which was a gift from one of my high school professors, but still pretty cool to have the game. I still need to buy the box and the manual and everything to make it official, but for now I only have the disc. And now we start with the Wii and DS era, which is the time that I actually started playing video games. So most of these games are games that I grew up with. So I own Super Mario Bros. Wii, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mario Party 9, Mario Kart Wii, Mario Strikers Charged, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, the Nintendo Selects of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, Metroid Other M, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Punch-Out!, Wii Sports. This is not the official case that I got it in, so I only have the disc, but I went to print it out as a case, just like the other Wii games. Wii Sports Resort, Wii Play, Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz, Spider-Man Friend or Foe, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, Star Wars The Clone Wars Lightsaber Duels, Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes, Epic Mickey 2 The Power of 2, Disney Infinity, Disney Universe, Cars 2, Toy Story 3, Toy Story Mania, High School Musical 3 Seniors Years Dance, Speed Racer, the video game which you might remember from
I am Francesco Bergonelli, el automóvil de toda Italia! Yo!
Avatar The Last Airbender, yes, it's the same game as the Gamecube, but for the Wii. How to Train Your Dragon 2, Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, Balls of Fury, which I only bought because of balls, FIFA 09, Madden 09, and finally Just Dance 2014. Now let's move on to the DS, which has some of my favorite video games of all time. I have unfortunately very damaged throughout the years New Super Mario Bros., Super Mario 64 DS, Mario Kart DS, The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass, The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks, Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga, Lego Batman the video game, Lego Batman 2 DC Super Heroes, Lego Harry Potter's Years 1 through 4, and Lego Harry Potter's Years 5 through 7, Lego Indiana Jones The Original Adventures, Lego Indiana Jones 2 The Adventure Continues, and finally off with the Lego games Lego Battles. I also have Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which is an amazing video game, Star Wars Lethal Alliance, Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix, the B-Movie game, Club Penguin Herbert's Revenge, Disney Pixar's Up, Phineas and Ferb Across the Second Dimension, the video game, Marvel Superhero Squad, and finally Ben 10 Alien Force. Now let's move to the Wii U. For the Wii U, I own Super Mario 3D World, Mario Kart 8, New Super Mario Bros. U Plus, New Super Luigi U, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games Sochi 2014, which is a pretty fun game and very underrated, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker HD, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD, Hyrule Warriors, Splatoon, Star Fox Zero, Star Fox Guard, Nintendo Land, Lego Dimensions, Lego Jurassic World, Injustice Gods Among Us, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was a gift from my girlfriend, I love you babe, Disney Infinity 3.0, Angry Birds Star Wars, Just Dance Disney Party 2, and finally Super Mario Maker, the bundle that has the idea book included, which is pretty cool. So for the 3DS I have Super Mario 3D Land, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Paper Mario Sticker Star, Mario Kart 7, Mario Tennis Open, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Super Smash Bros. 4, the 3DS, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D, which was my first approach to the Zelda franchise, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D, which is my favorite video game of all time, The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds, The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, Kid Icarus Uprising, which is one of the best games of all time, definitely in my top 5, Star Fox 64 3D, Animal Crossing New Leaf, Lego Star Wars 3, Lego Batman 3, Lego The Hobbit, as well as Lego Lord of the Rings, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, which is a very underrated Lego game, Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peru, The Amazing Spider-Man for the 3DS, which I still think is one of the best 3DS games of all time, Transformers Dark Side of the Moon, and this is the Stealth Force Edition, and finally WWE All-Stars. And for the last Nintendo console, because later on we're moving to PlayStation, let's go to my Nintendo Switch library. So, I have Super Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, the first copy of Super Mario Odyssey ever sold in Mexico, I was first in line, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which this copy is very important to me because it is actually signed by a lot of Nintendo YouTubers that have become some of my closest friends, like N10 members, Super Mario Party, Luigi's Mansion 3, which is one of the best games on the Switch. Also, the first ever Super Smash Bros. Ultimate copy sold in Mexico, which I was also first in line, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, Metroid Dread, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Pokémon Tournament DX, Splatoon 2, Fire Emblem Warriors, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, ARMS, the 1-2 Switch, Ring Fit Adventure, Five Nights at Freddy's, the core collection, which includes Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 2, 3, 4 and Sister Location, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, Little Nightmares, the Complete Edition, which there will be a gameplay series soon, Star Wars Republic Commando, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, Complete Edition, Undertale for the Switch, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, My Heroes 1 Justice, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Overwatch Legendary Edition, which only came with the code for the game, which is no longer useful since it's free now with Overwatch 2, and it included 3 months of online, which is pretty cool. Hot Wheels Unleashed, and the Nintendo Labo Toy-Con 1. Now let's move to Sony and their different consoles. Just to get it out of the way, for the PSP I have Star Wars Battlefront 2. I do not own a PSP, but I have Star Wars Battlefront 2. For the PlayStation 2 I have Kingdom Hearts, the first one. For the PlayStation 3 I have Senseiya Sanctuary Battle, or Battle for the Sanctuary, and Senseiya Brave Soldiers. For the PS4 I have Senseiya Soldier Soul, Jump Force, Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is also going to get a gameplay series soon here in the channel, so you better subscribe. Batman the Arkham Collection, which include Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. Injustice 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Kingdom Hearts The Story So Far, Kingdom Hearts 3, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2 Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition, PlayStation Hits God of War, and finally Spider-Man PS4. And for the last console so far I have the PS5, which includes the definitive edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales, which also includes the remaster of Marvel's Spider-Man, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Elden Ring, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and finally Demon Slayer The Hinokami Chronicles. Now let me show you some of the special editions. So for special edition of games, I have the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which included the Pokeball, the Pokemon Ball, the Pokeball Plus thing, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Special Edition, which included a steelbook case, the Deluxe Edition of LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, the Special Edition of Fire Emblem Warriors. I had also the Deluxe Edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I also have the Collector's Edition of Undertale for the Switch, and the Special Edition or Collector's Edition, I can remember, of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I also have the Game of the Year Edition of Overwatch for PC, and the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Special Edition or Collector's Edition, or I don't know, but it's the one that does not include the Master Sword. Now, these collections took years and years to create. It is one of my favorite hobbies. I always love going and buying a new game whenever I have the chance, especially if it's used in good condition so I can get it for cheaper. But now, for the fun part, let's stack all the games, and after that we're going to do a giant domino. I think that the best idea to start building the tower is going to be starting with the Wii. Come on, okay, yeah. So next up we're going to be doing the Gamecube. Okay, there you go, and it's already at my hip level. I hope this does not fall. So next up we're going to be doing the Wii U. So we put the Wii U over here, and it's still staying up. So let's do the PS4 and PS5, and almost forgot Mario Maker. And now we add the PS4 and the PS5, and it's stumbling over. Oh god, it's stumbling over. Oh god. God, no. It won't last. It will not last. No! That's as far as I could go. You know what, I think this is a bad idea, so let's do the domino. So after several days and several attempts, it is finally done. I was so close to finishing it up before it fell down, and then again. But at the same time, it was a lot of fun trying to do it. So are you ready? I know my hair is a mess. It's been 2 days since the beginning of the recording, but I finally did it, as you can see. It was a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoyed. Tell me which games you recommend me to add to my collection based on my tastes that you just saw, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to do the same thing, go right ahead. For me, that's everything for today. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. See ya!